Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Bricks King podcast, where I'm going to bend your ear about LEGO, review those amazing bricks of plastic, and discuss what is new and up and coming around the LEGO world. I'm your Minifigure host, Matt. Let's build on it. Welcome in, everybody. How are we doing today? Hopefully everybody is doing well. Hopefully you are doing well. Hopefully everyone around you is doing well. If not, I hope things change for you. Today, we are going to talk about the Bricktales, LEGO Bricktales video game that is coming out for you. I believe it actually releases tomorrow for you guys to be able to pick up. And I was fortunate enough to be contacted by the game designers to actually experience the game, run through it, and give you guys a synopsis of what to expect, a little review of some things, and go from there and determine whether or not you really think your money is worth spending on it. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Now, I did play this game on PC, so your experience may be different if you are playing on a gaming console. However, everything is pretty much the same. And the idea is that you start out... Okay, let me back up here. The idea of this game is completely different than any other LEGO video game you have played. This is like a version of SimCity mixed with LEGO mixed with a storyline. And I know SimCity has somewhat of a storyline, but not really. So the idea behind this is to be able to create, or there are challenges, and you're creating bridges to take you from one position to the next, one spot to the next. Now that's all fine and dandy. But the bridge building is a little redundant, even though you get different pieces and stuff like that. So the beginning of this game, you have this, your character, you have the grandfather of the character, and you have to go through and do these challenges. You have to build up these things, and you have to basically get to a point where you are able to warp to worlds. It's almost like Super Mario 3, but it's not. It's not like Super Mario 3. So you accomplish these challenges. You're sent off into this next realm. And there's a plane that has crashed. You got to find the survivors and stuff like that in the jungle. And that's all well and dandy. The storyline isn't bad. It's a text-based game. So you have to read everything, which is fine. There are many games that are like that. I play Dragon Warrior on NES. I still play it to this day. I play it often. Even though I know where everything is in the game, I still like to play it because it's a text-based game. It's one of the best text games where you have to read everything. Anyway, I'm on a bad tangent here. I don't like the fact that there's not more character interaction in voiceovers and stuff like that. That is where it is different from other LEGO games. Batman. I don't think Harry Potter's done a game, but like the Jurassic World games, I played the crap out of those. Loved those games. They were awesome. Absolutely loved playing those. And this is not that. If you like the DC games, the Marvel games, the Ninjago games, the Jurassic World games, this is not the Star Wars games. This is not that. This is not that. This is a bridge building game, very much so, in the sense that you have to complete these bridge building challenges every single time to advance. So the way it works is you end up getting a set number of pieces, and the pieces are whatever. They could be whatever it is. So for instance, one of the very first challenges after you end up on we'll call it an island here in the jungle, in the forest. You have to build this bridge to get over to the next step. Which the bridges are the continuation of the game, which kind of sucks in a certain way, and I'll explain why. So you have to build these bridges. You have all these pieces and stuff like that. The bridges can be as simple or as complex as you would like them to be. They're looking for building integrity. So this little robot dude who's your companion, this little robot dude, this two-wheeled robot dude, goes across them and determines whether or not your bridges are good or not good. And good, meaning he doesn't fall to his death, or not good, he does fall to his death, which he doesn't die. I mean, it's a Lego game. Come on, get your head out of there, you weirdos. So you have that. You can add as much detail within the pieces that you have as you would like or not. I do question some of the building techniques that are used throughout the game, especially when you get to that very first island and you're kind of like, wow, huh? What? This isn't even possible. This isn't legal. It's legal, but it's not efficient. It's not something that is going to be resilient and stand up to actual Lego building play. It just doesn't. But it is a game. It is a video game, and that's what you have to remember. But here's one of the things. I consider myself I'm not a great video game player. Not by any means. Don't have the hand-eye coordination anymore. Never really did as a kid. Just like to play games for fun. There were many moments where I walked away from this game and said, I'm done. I'm bored. I'm pissed off. I'm bored. I can't get the bridge built the right way. You look at it one way and you're like, I could do it like this. It becomes very frustrating to a certain degree. Some of you are going to be like, oh, that's easy. That's cake. There are going to be many of you that are going to say, I quit. I'm not into it. I'm just not into it. That definitely has to be something that you think about. You have to think about your time, your money, and your enjoyment. Money, this game I don't think is going to be super expensive. Your time, you're definitely going to put some time into this. I spent about 5 hours in this and I got frustrated multiple times. Enjoyment, if I were going to rate this out of 10, I would say maybe 5.5, maybe 6. And here's why. I went in bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I was ready to go. I was like, yeah, let's get in this. And then the story, it's very slow. It's very slow. It's text-based. I can't really get into it. I've got the game on one monitor and I've got something else pulled up on another monitor. I'm like, I can't watch this game. What else can I do right now? As I'm clicking through the speech and all that, which is great if that is what you are into. Not everybody is. A lot of people want action. They want to have interaction. And there's not a whole lot of interaction other than pressing a key and reading something. Not my type of game. But again, your mileage may vary. You may be somebody that's like, that is up my alley. That's not my kind of alley right there that I enjoy as far as games go. So one of the other things I wanted to bring up, when you're building these bridges, you can, after you successfully create your bridge, you can go into what is called sandbox mode. Sandbox mode, we've seen in many different things. You basically get to add all the pretty to it. You get to rebuild things and all that kind of stuff. That is great. That is fun to do. But it's not like you don't get bonus points. And I think there's a way to harness that. There's really no scoring system into this other than just completing tasks and then seeing your percentage of completion in the game. There's other side tasks as well where you're fighting this, that, and the other objects, animals, people, all that kind of stuff. It just doesn't keep you entertained enough. So with the sandbox building, where my head is at is that you take that and you have a scoring system, you have an algorithm that's in there, and people that add a certain color maybe or a certain piece or whatever, you continue to elevate their score or something. There's got to be a way for people to want to use sandbox, and I really don't think there's going to be. People are trying to complete the game, right? People play games to have fun, but also in the completion sense, they want to get to the end, they want to win. If you are playing an RPG, you want to get to the end of the game and you want to win, but you want to have enjoyment throughout. I had enjoyment, but not throughout. I had enjoyment for some parts and not for others. The least probably enjoyment that I had were some of the bridge building challenges. And the biggest reason is probably due to the sheer fact that there are no helpers here for you. There's no button to click to pop up a window that says you need to do this. No cheats, no nothing like that to help you. It's you. And if you don't get it, you don't get it. And you don't get to advance. And that's where some of the frustration comes in some of the time, where you're like, I've just spent 20 minutes trying to rebuild this stupid thing, and it still didn't pass. The robot still didn't make it across. The bridge fell, or something else happened. The robot got stuck. I freaking quit. That was me. There were a number of times where I was like, okay, I'm done. Turn it off, walk away, do something else. Come back to it maybe the next day, a couple of hours later. It just depends. I honestly was expecting something a little bit more relaxing, something where I would have a little more chill environment. And I'm not knocking the game at all. It's just not what I thought it was going to be. I thought I could be popping here and there and whatever, but you have to get the crystals. I can't remember the name of the crystal, but you have to get the name, or you have to get a crystal. And you have to, so when you complete a certain area, you get crystal, powers up your vortex, and you get to transport off into another realm, a different place. And the scenery looks great. It's absolutely gorgeous. It is beautiful in the way that it is done. The problem is, again, you have the brick building situation that includes bridges, which most people have no interest in doing. If you have ever tried to, so let's go back to SimCity here. If you have ever done SimCity and you are trying to connect a roadway to a bridge and all that kind of stuff, you know the chaos that ensues from it. This is kind of a pain in the butt. It is kind of similar in the same way, where you're just kind of like, oh, why can't it just be easier than this? I just want to have some fun. Now, one of the rewarding parts of the game is completing a build, a bridge build, or a challenge, or finding items and getting 100% percentage of that item or that thing that you had to do. It's very simple as far as that goes. But again, there's nowhere that says, hey, go look over here. Now, some people are going to be like, that's perfect. That's what I'm looking for. Others that just want to play a game and unwind and relax. I don't want to expend excessive amounts of mental energy, which I rarely have at the end of the day, to be able to try and find something that may be hidden, super hidden. And some of them are in, I wouldn't say quite plain sight, but some of them are more in plain sight, and others are just good. Best of luck to you. Honestly, best of luck to you. So as a whole, let's encapsulate this entire game. The experience is unlike any other LEGO game that is out there because of what you're doing with these brick building bridge challenges. There is an interaction piece, but there is also a piece that doesn't really keep you super engaged. Again, I put it at a 5.5. The game as a whole, I would probably say, is a 70% for me, a 7 out of 10. I could go as low as 6.5, but 65%. I just don't think it's that bad. Like when you think 60s, I think that's really bad. That's really, really bad. 70, yeah, you know what? It's not too bad. I can do this. I don't think it's above that. And I'm not knocking designers, producers, any of the writers or anybody that worked on the game. I just don't think it's going to work for everybody. And I compliment the creative studio folks that have, put their heart and soul into this. What they did does work. It just doesn't work for everybody. And I think if you are going into this thinking this is a typical LEGO video game, you are going to be sadly disappointed. If you want something different, this might work for you. You can download the demo, and I highly suggest you do. I highly suggest you go check out the demo. Is it worth it or not? And obviously the price is going to change. I don't have a pricing sheet on this, unfortunately, that I can't tell you how much it's going to cost. That was not given to me. However, with that in mind, when this game does pop out, look at the price. Think about what I've said. go look at what other people have said. I know Racing Brick I know got an opportunity to do this because I chatted with him about it. Rambling Brick had an opportunity to do this as well. And there are others that are out there. But I highly suggest you go ahead and go do your research, look at different things, and then determine. Maybe it is for you. Maybe you take a flyer on it. You're like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to see what I can do with this. Maybe this is for me. And it could be. It absolutely could be. Don't take what my experience was as the 100% truth. You may dig this kind of stuff. Not everybody does. So I'm going to leave it at a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 sounds better than 70%. So I'm going to leave it at a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 stars for this video game. It was pretty good. It does have some things that I think that need to be worked on, especially, when you get stuck. I need some help when I get stuck. I don't want to sit there and just stare at a monitor, stare at a TV and be like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do next. What should I do? I don't want that. I want something to tell me up in the corner. I want the paper clip from Microsoft, darn it, to tell me, hey, you could do, or it looks like you have. I want that. Some of you won't get that reference. If you're too young, you will not get that reference at all because it is not around. But as a whole, the game was a different experience. It had its moments of fun. Again, 7 out of 10 for me, and let's leave it at that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you are curious about it, if you have any more questions about it, I will gladly answer them. You can hit me up on social media. You can hit me up on email, and I will let you know what you could do or what you could change, or, what might work best for you, or whether or not you really want to know about such and such. I will gladly share more information with you. But I've pretty much done all that here. But if you do have more specific things that I did not cover in here, I will gladly touch on them for you. So until we meet again, I'm your Minifigure host, Matt. Let's build on it.